One of the most important things during the quote process is for the client to control the marketplace. We mentioned before that in the property and casualty insurance world, each insurance company will only work with one broker. And typically, that is the first broker that sends in an application to that insurance company. That will be the only broker to receive a quote or a declination. Very important for clients to control that process, because if brokers send out applications without the authority of the client, they can actually defeat the intent of the client. So we talked in the previous video about assigning insurance companies. Clients need to be very careful about emphasizing to brokers that any violation of those assignments will result in termination of that broker from further consideration in the process, and that broker's insurance companies will be assigned elsewhere. We believe this is so critical because, as we've talked in other videos, when an underwriter receives two applications from two different brokers on the same account, the underwriter begins to lose interest. So careful assignment of insurance companies is critical, because even if a broker, say, approaches an insurance company they weren't assigned, and then you reverse that, the client reverses that with a broker of record letter to reassign that insurance company to the broker that should have been working with that underwriter from the very beginning, the underwriters often tend to lose interest. They see that process as being out of control. So controlling the marketplace, making sure each broker only approaches those insurance companies that the client specifically and explicitly assigned to that broker is really critical. And in order to enforce that, we think clients have to take a hard stance that any violation of the assignments of insurance companies is grounds for being terminated from the process, including the incumbent broker. Because as we talked in other videos, there's strong incentives in the system for brokers to actually violate those assignments. We talked before about third parties, and this is typically we recommend that clients ask the brokers, which insurance companies will you approach, and will you approach those insurance companies directly or through a third party? There are different types of third parties, which we explained in another video. There are managing general agencies, there are surplus lines brokers, and sometimes brokers will send applications through friends. While these can be legitimate, MGAs and surplus lines brokers can be very legitimate ways to approach insurance companies in certain instances. Often, this is a way that the insurance marketplace gets flooded, either intentionally by the surplus lines broker or the managing general agency, or at the direction of the broker. So it's important to ask which of the insurance companies are going to be approached directly, which ones through surplus lines brokers and MGAs, and also to make sure that the broker is not listing an MGA as if it were an insurance company. That's another trick that the bad brokers sometimes pull, is when they're asked for a list of insurance companies they want to approach, they will list an MGA or a surplus lines broker, and under the assumption that now they're authorized to go to every insurance company that surplus lines broker can approach. So must be very clear that each insurance company to be approached should be listed, that any third party that is going to be used to access that insurance company should be listed, and any violation, even under supposed clerical error, any violation of the explicit assignments are grounds for termination of that broker's further involvement in your account. Is really critical to make sure that you get the most quotes and the best quotes.